tagged. All right, so these are a couple things I'm working on right now. I'm not going to say much. I'll read the back. Early in 1963, I need to get my drink. Hold on, I'll be right back, sorry. All right, so there was actually a point to that. The drink was sitting next to, it's Blues Traveler. Oh, Huck, I love this song. Come on, man. Can't hear it. Oops. Anyway, yeah, I shouldn't play it. It's a good song, though. Hook by Blues Traveler. All right, so I was showing these books, but I was also considering giving away some books as prizes. So my drink was sitting next to all the books I was looking at. Okay, so this is yeah, I needed to touch base on everything because I've got the George magazines to look through. George magazine is JFK Jr.'s magazine. And guts to republish because it's exactly what they don't want. That is just so crazy, messed up. I didn't want to be negative, so I said crazy. But that's kind of negative, I guess. Someone bought the rights to George, but obviously it's something new. And George magazine is JFK Jr.'s magazine. JFK Jr. is the son of President John Kennedy, who was, shot in the noggin. So that's what I'm talking about in the moment, because yes, I've got to republish some of those articles, especially about certain neoconservatives. So we have to assume that assassination has something to do with them as well, because we're pretty well settled that they had something to do with JFK. So yes, it's George magazine. And then these books, I have a recipe here for pemmican. Native American origins. Pemmican made from pulverized dried meat or fish, mixed with hot fat and dried berries into a thick paste, began with Native Americans as a nutritious, spoilage-resistant food that was especially good for traveling. In some areas, parched corn was used in place of the dried meat. When Native Americans made pemmican, ... Okay, and that's a really good point for me to make right now, because notice how, so there were pilgrims and they give this credit for Thanksgiving and everything, right? That we learned how to make Thanksgiving basically from the Indians. And anyone would say, no, it was a meeting of the minds. I'm sure that's true. So whatever you have to add, sure. But the point is that they got along. And that's how Thanksgiving came about. And then other than that, we told them to get the F out. Not me per se, but half of me. I mean, I have to take some responsibility for it. So that archetype, basically. So it's like, sure, we're getting along, but when push comes to shove, I'm British, you know. That's what happened. That's why the natives were ousted as such. The Native Americans. So I'm going to make that recipe pemmican. And the first thing we have to replace, because I've already talked about plastic, but these ultra processed snacks, just start making pemmican again, get a dehydrator, etc. Don't let people tell you that like less than excellent is okay anymore, especially right now. And Robert Kennedy is going to need our help with that. Because yes, we're doing the assassinations, but we also have to pick up the torch. Like, we have to assume that JFK was killed because he was doing something he should have been doing. And to think that he wasn't aware that he needed to watch himself and stuff. Like, I don't know what happened with Marilyn Monroe, but I do know they faked a bunch of documents, and I'm just wondering why. So whether she was a honeypot kind of situation or not, like, why do you have to lie? You know? That's where it's just null and void, moot, whether or not it's true. It's like there's foul play here. It's active, Soviet active measures even. And then there's this big Red Scare now. I'm about to go to dinner, so I have to start changing. I'm not going to wear this. So anyway, I'm almost at 10 minutes now, and I've been pretty much keeping these at 10 minutes. So tonight, today's Wednesday, right? Yeah. So I've got to get the trailer online. And episode 1, I don't care if anybody watches it. It has to be out on the Queen's birthday. I guess it has to go at the War Woman channel, but I need to cross-post on that. I'm going to use that one term for reselling and everything else. So, it says shoot for the moon. It says it here. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss it, you will land among the stars. It's a perfect idea right now for this piece. because obviously my husband is continuing to run away from responsibility. And of course he is, because I'm scaring him away. It's so terrible what happened, but I was terrified that I would get a soft spot again and let him come back. So I've just been expressing as much hate as possible. I mean, for one thing, he's ignoring me, but he was ignoring me to get me desperate again. And so what I let it do instead is just make me hateful. Hateful. Okay? I've heard that term around this town, but no, what I'm doing is hateful. Oh, thanks. I don't feel pretty, so that really helps. It really helps me, feel better. Thank you. So yes, I'm about to nail this thing. Wildfires. I guess I was going to also make this point. It's something from the sponsors, if you will. It's a Bic lighter, but you can see that it's cat themed. Oh, thanks. I'm great. The public will accept me before I accept myself. That's great, because I hadn't even had a chance to really accept that I'm getting older at this point. Because yes, I'm pushing 50 at just about. At least I'm pushing 45. So, no biggie. It's good to be wiser. Much wiser. All right. I'll be back at some point. Gotta get that trailer published tonight at this channel, at War Woman. I guess the full episode is going to War Woman because that's just keeping things organized. And the piece is about this town I'm in. It's the city I'm focusing on as far as the corruption goes is Clayton, Georgia. And I'm in Appalachia, the Appalachian Mountains, like the south end. Oh, well, thank you. Thanks for joining. And Jesus loves you. That's exactly the kind of attention I need right now. Because, yes, I've definitely gone astray. I was in the wilderness like Jesus was. He even met temptation in the wilderness. And then I'll have to remember that story. I'm not going to speak of it if I'm going to. One of you can leave a comment about that story. Jesus and his temptation in the wilderness. So I've just overcome that. The word subsumed comes to mind for whatever reason. But I'm about to... So I've paid... Exactly. So this is the business structure, but I'll have to make another video about that. So I'll be back, and then otherwise I've got a trailer coming out tonight. Thank you very much. I will see you all again